I just want to make a short contribution, really, in terms of supporting this bill, as my colleague Deputy McGuinness and Deputy Rabbit have already done. It's important, I suppose, to get this hospital put on a statutory basis, and as already been said here today, we've been a long time waiting for this. I was just looking up a little bit of research on some of our hospitals, and this came up when I was researching this earlier today. Some facts about Tallaght Children's Hospital. Would you believe it was founded in 1821? It was the first children's hospital in Ireland and Britain, and it's one of the oldest in Europe. And I was equating that against the 13 years that have elapsed since a government decision was made to build a new hospital. So a child of 1 or 2 years of age is now 15 since we decided to build a children's hospital. And you know, it's shameful. It really is shameful of our system and delays in our system that this would happen. And I'm surprised that people aren't more angry. Yes, we have to deal with planning issues. Yes, we have to deal with objections. Yes, we have to give everybody a fair crack of the whip. But imagine a 13-year period elapsing since the decision was made to build this hospital. And I know the Taoiseach and the Minister, I think they're now saying 2022. And one wonders if we won't have that date pushed out again. I hope, Minister, it won't happen. But it's possible that it will. We see here from what Deputy McGuinness and Deputy Rabbit and others said here, the appalling waiting lists, children's waiting lists at many of our hospitals. Shocking figures. 44,000, 16,000 waiting 12 months plus, 10,000 18 months plus. And again, it shocks me and it hurts me. As an UTD, it hurts me that families have been so badly treated in our society. Families with sick children. And we all know, we've all helped out families who've had sick children. We've often got the calls late at night, contact a consultant, a hospital, get somebody in. And one has to pay tribute, while I'm speaking here, to the outstanding work done in places like Tallaght and Crumlin. The outstanding care, the great breakthroughs there have been in relation to children's health in this country. So we have the medical people. We may have shortage of them in some areas, but we have the brains and we have the commitment. But the system has desperately let those families down and let many people in the health sector down as well. People who work within that system. I think, you know, since on board Panola has approved the St. James's choice, and I acknowledge there was many battles and many different points of view, and we can all look and say, yes, maybe there are going to be some shortcomings there. But there was a lack of consensus amongst clinicians and other stakeholders with regard to that choice. But I think we should also remember that you were never going to have a unanimous site. There was always going to be a group of people, individuals, even politicians, with a different view or a different site in mind. And indeed, nobody could guarantee that any alternative site would have got planning. We're where we are now. And I wouldn't be as pessimistic as Deputy McGrath is. I can see some problems ahead. But I said, I hope by people knocking heads together and realising this is our children, our future generations, and those early years that are so important in terms of looking after them, dealing with their illness, that we move as swiftly as we can, and not anybody, whether it's a politician, a clinician or whoever, putting any roadblock there to cause further delay and further anger to many people in our society. And again, many people from rural areas have had to have their children rushed to Dublin, looked after very well, sleep on the floor, whatever it has to be done, it was done. They stayed there with the children and stayed there with the health people to get their children through very difficult times. So it is long overdue and long over time that this project be commenced and indeed hopefully finished in a shorter period of time than we are seeing. And always in the development of a site as it progresses, of course I acknowledge there are going to be issues that are going to arise. I just recently had an experience in my own family where my mother, who's now 82 years of age, had a terrible experience in Portiuncula Hospital in Ballinasloe. Staff were brilliant, outstanding, referred there by a doctor, and got to the hospital at 6:30 in the evening and was left sitting in a chair until 7 the next morning, 82 years of age. Luckily, one family member could stay with her. She sent me a text the next morning and said, "Just got to bed. I'm so tired." But she wasn't worried about herself. And she said to me, "I'm so concerned about children that are here in buggies, sick children, 2 years of age, 3 years of age, no bed. Parents trying to, I suppose, keep them as settled as they could. Staff doing their best, their very best. Doctors not able to see them. No bed. Children of 2 or 3 years of age. And yet you had a person, 82 years of age, in good health, just referred by her doctor, in good shape, being left that period of time. But her concern was the youngsters. And that really brought it home to me about the way we treat these issues at times, the delays that are put there. And we all, in conscience, must look at these situations. We have here the figures of those desperate waiting lists for children. And things aren't improving there. And particularly in relation to outpatients. Outpatients is shocking. And again, for a child, that is so important that those delays are not there. Because often the illness, which could be dealt with, clinicians will tell you this, swiftly, quickly, get that child back to, well-being, good place in society, able to attend their school, able to play their games. But often when this thing is prolonged and they're on outpatients, illnesses deteriorate. Children get sicker. It costs the state more, but it may also cost that child more in terms of illness and death. So I will not further hold up the debate. Like my colleagues, I'm delighted that we're moving, but again would very strongly say this thing of particularly children and children that are sick having to wait and wait and wait is very unacceptable to me and to most people. Thank you.